Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, February 23rd, 2021. We completed chapter 2 last week from The Untethered Soul. Today, I'm going to show you part of a video. This is a 8-session program with Michael Singer called Living from a Place of Surrender. And I highly recommend it. I'll send out the details with the recording of the call. And this is session 7 of 8 that I'm going to play for you right now. And so let's dive into the video.
Welcome back to our course, Living from a Place of Surrender. This is session 7, and I've looked forward to this session during the entire course. It's a very, very important and meaningful session. We've built ourselves to the point, and I know you've come along with me, that we can clearly see the predicament that the self, the Atman, the consciousness finds itself in. I'm present, unfortunately sometimes, but I'm present in here. And I see what's going on. And what's going on is not a world of my own making. It is a world that I've kind of inherited, surrounded around me. It came around me due to different actions that have nothing to do with me, such as the unfolding of the universe in front of me, and due to actions which I took anywhere from yesterday to God knows how many years ago, of not being able to handle the reality of the unfolding of life in front of me. As such, without realizing it, it was done at a very deep, not the ultra conscious level, I sort of instinctually separated what I like from what I dislike of the different events that have happened to me. Instead of letting them be teachers for me, instead of letting them come in and feed me and make me a wholer person, I started selecting what I wanted and what I didn't want. And in doing so, I held inside of me naturally the experience that I didn't want to have. I did a funny thing. Seems like if you didn't want to have the experience, you wouldn't want it inside of you. But somehow, nobody said it was intelligent, the experiences that I liked the least, the ones that bothered me the most, I stored inside of me. I kept them inside. I pushed them away so much that they didn't have the room to pass by me. Therefore, they stayed inside. It's my fault, but it's not a guilt thing. I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't awake. I was asleep. I was just acting automatically without any realization of what the consequences of my action were. As I said to you, likewise, though they are much fewer, there are things that happened to me that I really liked, and I don't want them to go away. I mean, exact situations, not even a person, something a person did once that I liked, right? And so I clung to it and kept it inside of me. That one, at least I understand why you would want to hold inside of you and keep reviewing. It's not healthy, we'll talk about that, but I understand it at least, what it was that made me happy once. I don't understand why you would want to keep inside of you that which bothers you. Something that happened 20, 30 years ago when you were little, and it was disturbing to you. I understand things can be disturbing. I said that, we've talked about that. Everything has its nature. Everything has its vibration. Events, people, places, things, art, everything, animals, everything has its vibration. It has its nature. When that comes into you, you experience the fullness of that vibration. Nobody said it was always comfortable. Nobody said it was always the nicest, most pleasant thing to experience. But we are saying it was real. It was the real event that was taking place. The storm really was that powerful. Somebody yelling at you really did feel that uncomfortable. Losing a friend because they moved away or somebody died is difficult. It isn't a pleasant experience when it comes in, but it is life. You hear me? It is life. It is part of life. It is part of reality. And nobody asked your opinion. Reality exists completely independent of you. It is the result of creation, whether you want to call it the result of phenomenal science or the result of this is the day the Lord hath made. I really don't care. To me, you will end up in the same place if you will listen to what we're teaching you. So basically, you have, and I said, I don't understand why if something happened when you were little, it was difficult as it came in, but if it stayed inside of you, that was up to you. The person's not still yelling at you. The storm is not still happening. You're still not seeing the snake. So whereas the experience of the snake was a reality in a moment, the moment you get to the point that that moment is over, and yet it's still happening inside of you, you have to own that because there's nobody else responsible for that. You can't even blame God. You can say, God, why'd you show me a rattlesnake? Okay, fine, he showed you a rattlesnake, all right? But you can't sit there and say, God, why do you keep showing me a rattlesnake? He's not. You're doing it to yourself. You're the one who decided to keep inside of you that which was supposed to be a momentary, or at least short-term, Buddhists call it transient, a transient experience that you had. It is not going to stay. No electron has ever stayed in the same place for the history of creation. They move, everything moves, everything changes. So you have to own that you did this very, very silly thing of storing inside of you experiences that are over. We talked about this in terms of superimposing video images on your TV screen. Of course you don't want to do that. Of course you want to watch what you're watching when you're watching it and then let it pass through. I don't know where it goes. I don't know where that image goes. I looked behind the TV once. There wasn't a whole bunch of them stacked up. It seems to just go away. It's very Zen. You understand that? It's there when it's there and it's gone when it's gone. In fact, next time you watch TV, understand that's what Be Here Now is. All right? That image is there when it's there and then it's gone because it makes room for the next image. It is the same thing inside of you. The image of the reality of life comes in, but you kept it in. And by keeping it in, it superimposes. And what is going to happen, because it superimposes, it will distort the reality that you're experiencing next, period. And there is no way it will not. You understand that? If that image is on top of that screen and then another image on top of that, don't tell me you can compensate for that. You cannot compensate for that. It is a distortion that is taking place. It's like if you put on dark glasses, the world turns dark. If you turn on rose-colored glasses, it turns rose-colored. If you put the image of the things you have stored inside of you in front of you, which is where they're stored, they're going to distort what you're saying. They will distort everything. And then, as I've discussed, we'll get into it now, you will spend the rest of your life trying to compensate for that distortion, trying to find something that even though it's distorted, I want to find a movie that even though I have a superimposed thing, it's bright enough, it's sharp enough, right, that it's able to see its way through the superimposing. Well, good luck, right? But you're now relegated your life to compensating for the problem you have inside. So a wise person starts to work this out. And that is the purpose of session 7, is we're going to talk about, okay, you're right, I admit it, I'm caught. I am caught in this web of this mess that I've made inside. Do I have to stay there? No. No. You are capable of completely and utterly liberating yourself from what is locking you up inside. And we're going to talk from 2 levels. One is how, and then in the next session, we're going to talk about what's it like. if you do that work.
Okay, what are you hearing right now?
It's a confirmation of what I suspected, which is old memories are still there if I haven't let them go. So doing that work is really important.
And why did you hold on to that memory? Why did
I
you
don't
hold
know.
on to that experience?
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't know another way, I think.
Well, he mentioned it. You held on because you didn't know how to handle it at the time.
Yeah.
Know
Mhm.
how to take it in and let it pass.
And I think as a child, you just don't know. Like when stuff happens to you as a child that really makes an imprint, you don't even know that there's an option or a possibility of a way to make it pass.
Right.
You just take it in, it becomes imprinted on you, and then you
Mhm.
get locked up, like he said.
Anyone else? What did you hear there?
What I liked that he said was that it's my fault, but not in a guilt way. So just to recognize, to me, that says I can change it once I recognize it. And I don't have to feel bad about it, even if I've been carrying it for years.
Right, because no one ever told you any of this. No one ever explained this. No one ever shared with you that the moments come and the moments go. They're transient. What else did you hear? Anyone?
It distorts your view of the world, and then you start to try to make your life match this distorted view, which throws everything off kilter.
Right. We're not actually seeing, or let me back up. We're not actually experiencing reality anymore. What are we experiencing?
Our
Memories.
distorted view.
Right. We're experiencing our personal view, which is distorted. We're not actually experiencing reality. We're experiencing our version of reality. Anything else that stood out?
When he said that that you're then superimposing things on top of what you're carrying, and it has to be brighter than what you were carrying. So to me, it says you're always looking for something that's going to outshine it. So it's almost an impossible mission, because if it's always there, how can you always chase that next thing that's going to be better than or be brighter than what you're carrying?
And again, he uses the example, if you're watching something on TV, if the image didn't come and go, if every image just started stacking up one image on another, what would you be seeing?
Those images are not the TV.
You'd be seeing a very distorted version of what's happening.
This is sort of odd, but even in my reading of the book, in my mind, the author was sort of rigid, and I had felt at times reading the book that there was like just a very strong personality behind it. And sometimes I resisted what I was reading, and you watch that video and he's obviously soft and kind and open. So I can just see how I was reading the book with a distorted perspective. So I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, it is. All right, let's continue.
What should your life be like? What was meant to be for you and for everybody? It's not just for you, it's everybody. Rich, poor, sick, healthy, old, young, period. It's all the same. There's no difference. So you start off with, yes, I have this. Don't forget, that's what we're talking about. Yes, I see that I have this stuff inside of me, and that it is causing my thoughts to be difficult to live with, and it is causing my actions to be very manipulative. Because like I said, anybody got control issues? Hello? right? Of course you have control issues. How can you not have control issues? You have these disturbances inside. Your mind is intelligent enough to have figured out for you how everybody and everything needs to be for you to be okay. And therefore, you have to manipulate and control the weather, even though you can't. You complain about it enough. You have to control the weather, the driver in front of you, your husband, your wife, your children, your every single thing has to be controlled, right? Yet it doesn't work very well, does it? One, the world doesn't like you manipulating it. No one likes to be manipulated, but you have no choice because you know darn well the world's not going to just all of a sudden line up the way you need it to be for you to be okay, is it? It never has, it never will for anybody. So you then think, I must use my will to manipulate this. That is buying into the samskaras. And I don't need to tell you what a mess it creates, because at this point, most people smiling are shaking their head. Yep, it's been a mess. It's been difficult. It's been hard. All right. So what do? You change your attitude. Your entire attitude becomes the way I can achieve what I want. Don't give up what you want. I want to be happy. I want to be filled with love. I want to feel joy and enthusiasm all the time. That's what I want. Okay, that's what you always wanted. But now I understand that the only way I can have that is to let go of this garbage that I've collected inside of me. There is no reason to have it inside of me. It is not doing me one single iota of good. Don't tell me that hating your ex-husband for 10 years because of what he or she, whatever it is, did, right, is somehow in helping your life. It's real important. I don't forget the way he treated me. No, it's real important that you do forget the way he treated you. Otherwise, it's continuing to treat you that way for the rest of your life. You understand that? That's it. And let me ask you a question. You're all intelligent. How long will that stuff stay in there? A week? 2 weeks? How about your entire life? Is it true that when they go in there with psychology and they study this stuff, that they find out these, what were they called? Oh yeah, formative years. You know, what was that? 4 to 8 or something like that, right? That stuff is the foundation of your entire personality. That determines what you like and what you don't like and who you're attracted to and who you're not attracted to. It's exactly what I just taught you, isn't it? Right? But they don't say it as though you can do something about it. They just say, it's in there, baby. You better learn to cope with it, right? That is not true. I am looking you right in the eye. That is the biggest misunderstanding at all. There is nothing holding anything inside of you except you. You're the only one in there, aren't you? Right? I always say it's a single occupancy apartment. There's nobody else in there. Your kids aren't in there. Your wife's not in there. Your husband's not in there. Nobody else is in there. You're in there. It can be any way you want it to be. Out here, can it be any way you want it to be? Of course not. It has to answer to the influences that are causing it to be the way it is. It's got 13.8 billion years of influences. Everybody's influencing out here. So there, it can't be the way you want. In here, there's nobody else in there. That's what's so funny. It's so much harder to work outside, all right? But to work inside, there's no competition. It's just you. But you don't understand. It seems people say, no, my mind's really powerful. No, it's not. Your mind is brilliant, just like a computer is brilliant. But if that computer's showing you things that you shouldn't be looking at and freaking you out all the time with blood and this and that, all right, you went to that website. You didn't do it, okay? It's just an open internet. You can do whatever you want with it. Your mind is clean, it's empty, it's free. You are the one that's holding the stuff in there. You are the one that's focusing on the different impressions that are in there. You are the doer. You are the only doer in there. There is no one else in there. Do not give up your power by saying my mind is more powerful than me. You made your mind, all right?
All right. What are you hearing now?
You are the only one in your mind. It's single room, it's a single apartment, you choose to hold on to those thoughts, or not to hold on to those thoughts. It's not the outside world. It's you, it's us, it's me.
What is this video teaching you? Anyone getting an aha?
I am.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm in quite a bit of pain because it really is an aha moment for me. The pain is that the amount of energy that it takes to impose my will gives me a tremendous sense of loss of that I'm not experiencing the world and my world in ways that are possible. I mean, it is a choice. It seems really simple. And as much as I understand it, and through the work with you, Steve, this video is teaching me that I have so much more to go in terms of understanding the level of I'm complicit in controlling, and I'm in a lot of pain right now because of it.
Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? No, what are you hearing? What's going on?
I'm excited to let a lot of stuff go. Or yeah, I'm super excited. This makes a lot of sense to me.
Anyone else?
It's interesting
In
that the formative years is that we think this is how we are and that we'll never be able to change it. But to see that it's possible is pretty amazing.
Okay. And why do you think it's possible to change? Anyone?
Just because that's the whole premise of what he's talking about, is being, in a single room. I think Ellen said it, and just creating our own thoughts and actions.
Everything that has happened, remember, at an early age, what do we start doing?
We programmed it.
We start to make judgments. We start to form opinions on the way that the world is. He said between the ages 4 to 8. So it's sort of like, I mean, I could totally relate what he just said about, your ex-husband. I was married for 25 years to somebody that I'm divorced from now for 5 years. And I do hold on once in a while, more than once in a while, I'll say like what he did to me and hold on to the behavior. So it's so freeing to know, like, just let go of it. We hold on to that. We hold on to those things to justify why we're still doing those things that don't work, that cause us pain and don't work for us. Exactly. We hold on to those. Those are our crutches. Those are our rites of passage.
Right. He did things to you more than 5 years ago, right? Anywhere from 20 to, 15 years ago, and 20 to 5 years ago. And yet you're still holding on to what he did.
Right.
And you in this situation, you have the ability to do what?
To let go.
Because why?
It serves no purpose.
Well, because it's already gone.
It's gone. Right.
Whatever he did, not justifying it in any way, shape, or form, it's gone. The experience, that thing happened a long time ago. However, at the time it happened, you weren't able to process it, and you pushed it away. You pushed it away to the point that it's still inside you. It never passed through you. What you can do right now, all of you have the ability, because all of you have been through your version of this, is you can let it go, because it's gone. It's gone. The moment has passed. And what we're holding on to is our impression of that moment. We're holding on to that. We made that. Whatever happened is gone, over. And
Casey,
go ahead.
I think about it like, it takes energy to keep these hurts and these memories alive.
Oh yeah.
And so you have, let's say you have so much energy, you have powerful energy, but you only have so much in a day to use. And then you siphon off so much of it to keep these hurts alive, to keep these memories alive. Like, so it diminishes your power every day.
Right? And we have to go out and we have to find someone who's going to fix us, right? You know, and that takes a tremendous amount of energy. Finding the person who is going to fix everything for us because we're in so much pain. Anyone else?
One of the visuals that sticks with me from the first part today was those TV images piling on top of each other. Really, I mean, you think about it and you get anxious just thinking about it because that visual is so like confusing, if you will. And I think that's very true of how these things pile up inside of us. It's a visual for what is all these experiences and how complicated and complex it would be if you just keep letting them pile up.
And so we'll continue watching this video. Again, I strongly encourage, you know, if this resonates in any way, I'll send you the link that you can purchase this. It's 8 sessions. They're all a little over an hour each session. And letting go, and this is what you can practice. Remember, what's happening right now is every day what's going on in the outside world, which has been 13.8 billion years in the making. All right. So this idea that somehow you're responsible for what's going on out there, ludicrous. Anyway, the stuff that's happening in the outside world is hitting your stuff. That's what happens. Whatever's going on out there is hitting your stuff. And so therefore, you're not really experiencing what's going on out there. You're not really letting the moment in and then letting it pass. You're filtering everything through your stuff. And what you can practice today is anytime anything makes you uncomfortable in any way, be aware of it. And then in that moment, just simply take a very deep breath. Take a very deep breath. Relax your shoulders, just relax. Take a deep breath. Relax your shoulders, breathe in, breathe out, and just let go. Just let go. Try and be aware of what stuff is being hit, whether it's, you know, as a kid, as an adult, a teenager, whenever anything happened to you, just be conscious of what that stuff might be and just visualize letting it go, letting it go. So anytime today or this week where you feel uptight, anxious in any way, worried, concerned, know what's going on in the outside world is hitting your stuff, and just relax in that moment and let it go. Let it go. Let the moment pass.
Eat your food.
And eat your food. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.